Amazon just buzzed, so you're going to come with me and see what I have from Amazon. Pause here. In the comment section, guess what it is. Yeah, someone's probably going to guess what it is. It's pretty normal, the sort of thing that I consume and purchase from Amazon on a fairly regular basis.
Going down.
The lighting in here is pretty cool. Oh, I need that feathering to come through. Bleaks. Hee hee. Hang on. They buzzed our flat, and there's nothing here for us. It's flat 29, flat 52, flat 2, unless they put it in here, but I don't think they did. Nothing. So what it was meant to be was a crate of 25 monsters, Monster White, which I ordered a while ago. If I just got a text from them saying they delivered it, I will lose my mind. No, good. So, it was meant to have come yesterday. That's why I was pretty sure that's what it was. And they buzzed our flat, which meant they thought we had a delivery, but they obviously just buzzed any old flat. You just hate it when that happens.
9th floor.
So I apologise for that, but I have my daily monster habit or a coffee, which at the moment our Tassimo is broken. So we're going to get an espresso very, very soon. So I will let you know about that. I can show you one of the meals I'm eating. So this is just some strawberries, and this is 60 grams of oats. In the past, I used to like completely cook my oats for absolutely ages when I was dieting to get like the most volume out of the oats, which is just crazy. I'd use like 100 mils of fluid per 10 grams of oats. I don't even measure out the fluid now. I just put in an amount, cook it and cool it, and then it's like a thick bowl of oats. It's fine. I'm not worried about having to make it the biggest, most voluminous, which I think is a good thing, because just if you end up spending more time preparing a meal than eating a meal, unless it's like some fancy thing, I don't think it's a great thing. It's like preparing for an exercise. If you spend more time warming up and preparing for an exercise, something feels a bit off there. So actually I'm going to take you through a leg day today. It was really tough. So this is my week 4 of the mesocycle, really tough training session, and I'll overview it so we can enjoy that together. So guys, I'm going to take you through some of my training again. So this was a lower body day, hamstring emphasis day. So I have my kind of heavy hamstring compound first of all, which at the moment are Romanian deadlifts. You can see here, this is just some quirks that I'm going to give you some insight to. So my Versa grips are great, but if you get them a little bit wet, and I just went to the toilet, washed my hands, and I think my hands were a little bit moist still because the blow dryer wasn't working. So the grip just wasn't as good. So you can see here, I'm like, why is this grip feeling not as good? And it slipped a little bit out of my hand there. And it's super important to be able to have that. So one thing I will tell you here is last mesocycle, I was progressing this lift by 5 kilos a week and maintaining reps. And that was seeing my reps in reserve come down by about 1. It was probably a little quick. In a mass phase, I'd definitely be able to adapt at that speed. But in a cutting phase, it's just not tenable. So 5 kilos isn't a crazy amount to increase by each week, because to be honest, the overall load here, I have 157.5 kilos. So 5 kilos isn't crazy, but I just decided here to just add 0.25 aside, so 2.5 kilos. So I matched reps on last week, added 2.5 kilos. So you're going to get a different angle here. So I'm finding that to be more of a thing. I'm less able to progress at the rate that you would like to during an off-season phase. And I guess that's a big topic to talk about. When you have a calorie surplus, you have full glycogen stores, you have more anabolic signaling, your ability to perform and recover is heightened. And so you can look to progress by a repetition, by a small amount of load, and your RAR might come down by 1, or you might even maintain RAR and still see those performance increases. But when you're in a calorie deficit, you don't have those things helping you. And so you have to take smaller progressions. So not only is my training volume staying way more static in that from week 1 through to my final week of training before deloading, I barely add sets because I just can't recover from them, and I'm getting plenty of stimulus from the amount I'm doing, and more would not help me. But also my progressions in terms of load and repetitions are less as well. So typically I start a mesocycle about 3 to 4 RAR, and each week I can progress by repetition or a small amount of load, like 2.5% additional load, and I will be able to do that each week and I'm all good. Whereas now what I'm finding is maybe I will have to start doing that every other week rather than every week, or I have to make even smaller progressions, so maybe not 2.5% but 1.25%, like I kind of mentioned with the Romanian deadlift, things like this. And there may be weeks where I don't make any progression, I have to progress every other week, and then there will become time where I am in such a calorie deprived state for such a length of time where I am so lean that I can't even progress, and actually just the fatigue building up through dieting is leading to me seeing my RAR drop whilst maintaining the same load and same repetitions. But given your body weight's coming down, it's relative. So I'm now 180 pounds, just below that, and I'm still lifting loads that I was lifting when I was 200 pounds, or rather 100. I was like in the high 190s, so not quite 200 pounds, which is impressive, and it's unlikely something I can keep up. If you can keep up this sort of progress, you're not going to, like, you'd be like a powerlifting champion. So you can see how you might have seen I kind of reset and then got back into it. I can't actually remember. There's something that threw me off. I think it might have been my AirPods, which are new, and I can do a review on those if people are interested. I bought some Apple Pro AirPods because my Powerbeats 3 just kept messing around. Powerbeats 3, great in the gym, they hook in nicely, but the kind of connectivity and them turning on, they failed quite frequently, and it was just getting too much. I've already sent them back and got a new pair, so I was like, oh, what's a good pair of kind of wireless headphones? I loved the original Apple AirPods, so I thought the Pros would be an upgrade, but they don't stick in my ear as well, and they are at risk of falling out, so I have to be careful. I do need to try all the different sizing though, because they give you some different sizing. So yeah, in terms of, that was my main part of my chat, was progression is slower. It's going to slow, so it might be every other week, it might be smaller amounts, and then it may come to a time where you're just holding on to what you've got, and that's all you can do. So in terms of this mesocycle versus my first mesocycle, I'm actually just repeating that mesocycle basically just as a lighter human, and it's probably unlikely I'll be able to keep this going throughout my entire contest prep, like I said. Otherwise I'd be a crazy strong individual that's super shredded. So I'm also aware that during comp prep, stimulus to fatigue ratio becomes a larger concern. It's always a big concern, but during a mass phase, you can kind of take on those big compound lifts and be fine with it. But during a cutting phase, you really have to be very selective. Just want to take you through this leg extension. So you may have seen on Instagram, Pascal had like some padding that he put on his, I guess, the front of his foot / shins. So it just pads this out a little bit, and that just allows you to get a bit more range of motion, allows me to shorten the quad a little bit more. And I'm just using my Vans here because I don't have this padding available. And just to speak to the leg extension for a moment, holy crap, it gets me the most unreal disruption and pump. I don't know if it would, like, yeah, essentially you'll see me here at the end of the set and I'm in pain. Like, the last 5 reps are painful. Like, it just, I want to not keep going, and it's just a combination of painful pump, painful disruption, and I just have to like sit on the edge. I can't stay in the machine because the build-up of just metabolites and blood and all that good stuff is just so painful that, I mean, I could probably get away with even less than these 2 sets here. I literally do 2 sets of hat squats, 2 sets of these, and my quads are just absolutely busting. So yeah, you get to see that here. So that's pretty much my training for my lower body day, and I just wanted to talk you through kind of my progressions and how I've been approaching that and how to expect things to slow down as you do come through a cutting phase, you can't expect to see the same rate of progression. One additional point, and I'll keep this brief, is my bent over row recently. I'd been progressing that as I normally would during a mass, and I found my technique was degrading. So this can happen as well, where you might be able to think you can keep going, but your technique degrades. So I just reduced the load, kept my technique quality, and it just felt so much better. So this is something you just have to bite the bullet at some stage during a cutting period. So guys, you know I'm a little bit obsessed with Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball in general. And you know Jackson Pios, who is also an anime lover, who's been on the podcast talking about diet breaks, refeeds, all this good stuff. He launched a company recently and a brand called, how would I say this? Kushiro. I actually don't know what that stands for, what that means. But it was basically, anime-based clothing, and I purchased some because I wanted to support him, and so I'm just going to show you some of that stuff. So let's have a look. So here we have, I don't know what it is about Goku Black, but there you go, in his rosé form, and of course that's like their own design of him, which is really, really cool. I'm excited to try that one on, and these feel like pretty heavy duty t-shirts, so after I review the quality of them, they feel very good quality. And then this other one, which I haven't unpackaged fully yet, is Boo. So you've got Boo in most of his more aggressive and interesting forms, and not his soft form, but that's pretty sick, isn't it? It's got the detailing kind of on the label inside here, which is quite nice, and then also it's got the labeling right here, which is pretty cool. Nice job, Jackson. So just in case anyone watching is going to pick one up, I'm sitting at about 180 pounds and I'm 5'10", reasonably muscular, and this is a large, and they're meant to be an oversized fit. So yeah, it's heavy duty, this stuff. So yeah, you can definitely tell that's oversized. Oh, hey, yeah, that fits pretty nice, I think, as a large. Sits on the shoulders nicely. I have to look at it in the mirror and stuff, but I think that's pretty decent. So yeah, hopefully that was insightful. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed getting a bit of insight into my training again this week. Like ever, if you want to see anything in particular, do let me know. Otherwise, I'll leave that there, and I look forward to checking in with you very soon. These vlogs should be leveling up in the very near future, and I appreciate you always kind of commenting, liking, chatting, and always appreciate the support. So revive stronger. I'll catch you in the next one.